welcome back to Mimi's Counter. Today we're going to make black beans in our WestBend slow cooker. I'm in love, you guys. It's a very simple, straightforward recipe. We have a bag of black beans, a green bell pepper, 1 onion, oregano, bay leaves, and garlic, salt, pepper, and at the end, we drizzle on vinegar. All right, first thing we're going to do, we've rinsed these black beans. We're going to put them in the pot. There we go. Then we're going to chop up this bell pepper. And we're going to chop the bell pepper large pieces because when bell pepper cooks, the skin, all the meat in the bell pepper cooks away when it's cooking a long time. And then the skin is left floating around to get caught on the roof of your mouth and in your teeth, and it's really disgusting, at least to me. So I cut it in large pieces so that when I'm done, I just go in there and pull those skins out, and there they go in the compost pile. So I'm just going to cut it into like 8 large pieces. Remember, this is going to cook a long time. So all the meat on this bell pepper will be in your beans. We're going to cut the onion up. And this too is going to pretty much disintegrate because it's going to basically stew in this pot. I'm just cutting the onions in nice slivers, moon-shaped slivers. Because as I say, it's going to cook down. Nobody cares. I'm going to put the bay leaf in. I'm going to sprinkle it with about a teaspoon of regular salt, a couple of teaspoons of diamond salt. Remember, diamond salt has half the sodium. So I'd rather start with less and always add oregano, about a tablespoon of oregano. Add the black pepper, about a half a teaspoon. Olive oil, super important, really good olive oil. Something with a lot of flavor because it marries with those onions and that oregano and the bay leaf and the bell pepper. It's just a flavor like no other. And they got to have that balance. Last couple of things here. We've got to chop our garlic and we've got to fill the pot with water. In this case, I would say at least 2 to 4 inches above. I watch it, because the beans are not cooked. I do not soak my beans. I put everything in there and let her rip. I come back in a little while, an hour maybe, and I check, and I add more water if I need it. I've got 32 ounces of water. I'm not going to guarantee that your pot will hold 32 ounces, but we're just going to cover it. By about 2 inches. And I think that needs another 16 ounces. So 32 and 16. So that's about 6 cups of water, okay? I can already smell the oregano and the onions and the bell pepper and everything. It's not even turned on yet. And you can smell you'll know it's right because it'll smell right. As I've mentioned before, this pot is on the minute you plug it in. So when you're loading all your food, remember, don't plug it in. Plug it in after you have everything in. It does not have an on-off switch. So now we're just going to put the lid on. Cover up that wonderful aroma. Boo. There you go. Hour and a half. We'll come back and check it and see where we are water-wise. while the beans are cooking, we're going to make some fresh. I call it somewhere between salsa and pico. It's to put on top, to eat on a chip. Just eat it with a spoon. It's that good. I'm going to be using an appliance that some of my friends who watch the video will recognize. I can't even tell you how old this little food processor is. It's 500 watts. If you want one, you're going to have to go on eBay and find it. I think they were made in France. But anyway, it's my sweet little food processor. We're going to go out to the garden now and trim some cilantro because it's that time of year. Cilantro grows when it's cold. So we're going to go grab some. Not much growing out here this time of year, but the cilantro loves it. It's warmed up a little bit. I'm giving it a little bath because it's been outside. And I'm going to wash these tomatoes. They're Campari tomatoes. I've got about 6 of them. Your judgment on how much tomato you like. I've got 3 limes because they're super small. Normally it'd probably be the juice of 1 lime, but this time of year, I don't know. We just have tiny limes, and they're not key limes. They're just tiny limes. And I'll probably use a half of this onion. But again, this is by feel. You know, pico or salsa has a lot of tomato, but there's all that flavor that comes from the lime, and you don't want to over lime it, but you don't want to not have enough lime either. So we're just going to play it by ear, and we're going to put it in my little machine. Now we're going to juice some limes. Rheumatoid arthritis is kind of mean on your hands, or at least my rheumatoid arthritis symptoms are that it's mean on your hands and your wrists pretty much every day. But this little guy, as you can see, I'm squeezing him. It can't be too hard. It does a pretty good job. It's finding the tools that work for you is super important. If you don't have the right tools, it kind of takes the fun out of it. Last little guy. Oh, that's going to be plenty. Okay, yum. It smells good too. Let's pour that in here and spill a little bit. Always leave room for error. I'm going to, normally I put a couple of cloves, but this guy's a beast, big boy. So we're just going to start with 1 clove of garlic. I tend to put more garlic than I should. So now I'm going to put some pickled jalapeno in because I don't have any fresh jalapeno, and I like pickled jalapeno. It's already got the salt and the vinegar, and the struggle's real with the rheumatoid arthritis and opening jars. I have one of these little squeaky things. I don't know, they're not expensive, and they help me a lot. I also have an old antique pickle spoon, believe it or not, and I'm going to go in there and I'm going to get just about 4 slices is all it takes. This stuff is hot. And put a little bit of vinegar in there because, hey, who doesn't like a little pickle juice? Okay. Then we're going to add a little bit of salt. And a little bit of pepper. Remember, you can always adjust. Nothing here is in concrete. And let's not forget that nice freshly washed cilantro. These stems are so fresh and tiny and tender, I'm just going to put them in there because the food processor is going to grind them up. You'll never know there was a stem in there. I don't like stems, so when I tell you you can't tell there's a stem in there, believe me. We'll set those on top. Yes, I've got it really full. I'm going to put just a drizzle of olive oil in there. It kind of balances things with all that tartness. And then we're gonna make some noise. First, we gotta make sure we got everything all the way in there. Come on, baby, get in there. Close, a little bit more, because it's really full. Perfecto. Ooh, lovely. Let's taste. That was really good. Okay, so this has been cooking about 25 minutes more. I checked it and it's nice and soupy. The meat is falling off of the green peppers and the beans are tender. I call it done. We're gonna make some rice in just a few minutes and then we're gonna have some black beans and rice.